We work in the working group dedicated to the network. We try to answer the age-work balance leading question and finding out which factors influence on finding the best balance relationship between a network and a specific practice or measure. And we found out, we concluded that it is one of the main factors influencing this relationship is the ownership. Who has the ownership? And we found out that here in Dublin, the local employment service has the ownership over the practice and over the network they are working in. They can control the activities that they implement and all the approaches that they design in order to address the specific unemployment problem they have. To Dublin Local Employment Service, our recommendations for them regarding the network is that they keep going as they are doing, having the freedom and having control and ownership of the practices and measures they are implementing. And it is very important that there exists collaboration between the public service and the local services, but that collaboration has to be flexible. Now we found out the people speaking from the government in Dublin, they told us that there is a tendency to try to control a little bit more the network in which the local development services are involved, and they are trying to control a bit more the programs, the practices and the actions, and we are recommending going away from that. We believe it's important cooperation and both actors have to be really involved, but freely, as long as there is flexibility.
Our working group was analyzing the practice. We found out that this local employment service is a practice, even though it was not born in Ireland as a practice, as normally thought. So there was not three people sitting and designing it as a project, a practice, but it was a spontaneous initiative of civil society to respond in the 90s to the upcoming unemployment. Furthermore, all of this is in a network very, very strong, which is used as a tool, meaning that the resources to help the people to reintegrate in the labor market are taken directly from the network. For all these reasons, we concluded it is a practice, and also it is a practice which is suitable to the target group we are looking at. Because in Ireland we do not have targeting policies specifically for older people, but local employment services are very suitable to respond to long-term unemployed or to people who have health care problems on the top of not finding a job. And for this reason it is a practice and it is suitable to older unemployed. Well, the Bally-Fairmont partnership, but the local employment services in general have some special features. First of all, the fact that they are really voluntary based and locally rooted. So civil society organizations, women representations and other individuals who wanted to contribute put together. This structure is still characterizing very strongly the local employment services. Furthermore, the LES are working very much on an individual approach, meaning that each client is approached individually and that solutions are negotiated and found with the counselors, but there is not a standard solution which is applied to everybody. And this is also reflected in the budget system of LES, where each client has an allocated budget for his or her own development. Group guidance is used by local employment services to build some awareness and to build some motivation for people to go back looking opportunities in the labor market. And then there is a final very special feature that is linked to this informal network setting, and that at least Belli-Fairmont Partnership, they do not use at all normal dissemination tools. They do not have leaflets, they do not have advertising made, but they really rely on their network and on the fair relationship which is established between the people and the services. Our recommendations concern some aspects which we think are very precious and beautiful about the practice. So first of all, to do some evaluations now. After 15 years implementing these models, it would be very interesting to look specifically at how the local employment partnership succeeded in doing sustainable integration to work for long-term unemployed. Another recommendation concerns the risk of stigma. Why do we say this? Because in the new labor market reform, which is upcoming, a profiling system will be introduced in 6 levels, where people will be placed from the most next or farther from the labor market. This is very useful. This can rationalize the services provided, but the risk on the other hand is that the local employment services become the services for those who are only the farther from the labor market, and so that they lose in this way this reliability, this community recognition.
What I find special on this project is exactly that, the freedom of action that they have, the flexibility they have. All partners involved leave space and freedom of action to each organization, and I think that is the key of success.